Hello, Five Keys students in Mr. Cash's class. This is Mr. Cash here. I'm happy to see you or be seen by you. It's been a while since I've made a video for you, but it's important this week that you listen to this and also look at my website because there's some new regulations from the state of California regarding independent studies in schools that got passed recently, and they affect us. It doesn't change things too much. It just makes things just a little bit more clear and some procedures that we have to follow to make sure that we can get you enrolled, get you as many units as possible, and get everybody making their progress. I know a lot of you have been reading my website each week for the announcements, and I thank you for that, but I know some have gotten behind. The main announcement that we have, two main ones, is that this week I'm going to have class at Shields like regular on Monday and Friday, and also we're going to have the Wednesday and Thursday Zoom classes available. But the week after that, on October 11th through 19th, there's going to be a vacation of 1 week, and we have a couple of extra vacations during the school year because our summer is shorter, and so therefore they add in these extra vacations. Of course, you can keep working on your work, but Five Keys will be closed for that week. So that's going to be the first important announcement. So this week we are regular schedule, but the next week will be closed. Now, the big thing that's happening is there's a new state assembly law called AB 130, and this is a regulation regarding attendance for schools and independent study programs. And so many different schools during the pandemic started doing independent study, and Five Keys has done independent study for a long time, so we're doing everything the way it's supposed to be done. But the state saw that some of the schools weren't keeping good attendance, they weren't making, students weren't making progress, they were just signed up for it and things weren't happening. So they put some rules in effect for all independent study schools, but they also affect Five Keys. As you know, it's always been important to do work each week and to turn in some work each week and to check in with me for attendance. But so now it's not just a Five Keys rule, but it's a state rule to keep students enrolled. So the rule is, and you can read about it on my website here, but I'm going to go over it just very basically, is that all students have to have a minimum of 2 days of attendance per week. And students need to turn in some work each week. If you go more than 2 weeks without attendance, you're going to be withdrawn from the program. It is possible to get back in, but if that happens, we have to have I have to contact my principal and get permission to get you back in, and there may be students on a waiting list because more students have been on waiting lists at some of the sites, so we don't want that to happen. In the past, I've been able to just give some warnings to students, reminders you might call them, and then they catch up on the third week. But now I have to turn in attendance every single week for each student, and where before I just really had to turn it in each month, and so I could allow some students to catch up. So now I have to turn in that attendance every week, and if after 10 days, then the student's going to be out of the system. So you say attendance, I can't come. Maybe you say twice a week. You don't have to come twice a week. As you know, there's different ways that you can get attendance, and I'm going to go over them right here. You can come into Shields, and I'm there every Monday and Friday, and sometimes on Wednesdays. The weekly schedule is always up. You can have a Zoom meeting with me. You can do 99% of the things that you would do in class in a Zoom meeting. You can go over your work with me, you can show me some of your work, you can ask me questions, you can check on your status and your credits and your test scores and things. So a Zoom meeting has become just like, for a lot of students, like coming in for regular. To get attendance, you can also check in on Remind with me and tell me what you're working on. And it's important that if you check in on Remind, don't just say, Mr. Cash, I'm checking in. Make sure you say, Mr. Cash, or hi, I'm working on Canvas today, or I'm working on Economics Part 2, or something that you're doing. You just pick up your phone each time, make it a habit every time you're working, and just send a little boom, because it also keeps a record for you of all the different times that you've contacted me, and I have a record. So that is really the best thing to do, even on the days that you're coming in. I want you to say, Mr. Cash, I'm coming in today at 2, or I'm coming today at 9:30, because that way I make sure I have things ready for you. So check in with me on Remind. And you can check in 5 days a week if you want. If you check in outside of 5 Keys hours, my work hours, I may not get back to you right away or even give a thumbs up or a thanks, but when I do come back into work or I'm working from home, I will give you a response. And remember, you can take pictures with your phone of your work to show me that what you're working on, and then you can also use the Adobe Scan app to send me the work. And if you don't know how to use the Adobe Scan app, most of you do, I have information on my website, and I can direct you to that, or you can find it in the information page. So the Remind app is our main way of keeping communication. You can also get attendance by working on your Canvas class if you're in a Canvas class. And then when you do work on Canvas, just shoot me a little note. Mr. Cash, working on Canvas today. Okay, and I do get reports, but I want you checking in with me at least twice a week, even if you're working on Canvas every single day. We have other online programs like the ReadWorks, the Typing.com, Aztec, the Yup, the tutoring that many of you have signed up for. And a lot of students are using that Yup program. And if you haven't started using it, let me know. I've signed up a bunch of students. That's that tutoring, and I'll go over it again. It's down farther, scroll down on my website. A couple of weeks ago, I have some information there. So you can get those, and Lexia and the Aztec program. There's some different online student programs that different people have signed up for. Once again, when you're working on it, at least twice a week, say, Mr. Cash, I'm working on Aztec, or I'm working on my Typing.com. And that way I know to go in and check what your scores were on ReadWorks, Typing.com, etc. Because if nobody's using it that week, I won't see the report. So there's lots of different ways to get attendance. To make sure that you have how many days a week? 2 days minimum. It could be 5 days. It could be 7 days because you're allowed to work on the weekends, but you're also allowed to take some times off. I definitely understand that so many of our students are busy with jobs and other situations that it's hard to get the work in. But the students that are making a lot of progress find a way to get some work time in. And if you do, I hope you know, if you do have a situation that comes up and you can't come to school for a week, all you got to do is reach out to me and tell me, Mr. Cash, I'm going to be out of town, or Mr. Cash, this is what's happening right now. I'm not going to be able to work for a week, and we can get it covered, okay? But we want to have, the main thing is communication. So those are the really, really important things. Our schedule for this week, I've got right here, Monday, I'm going to be at Shields 9:30 to 12:30 and 1:30 to 4. Sometimes students will show up at 1 and I might not be in the office. Also, if there are no students signed up to come before 4 o'clock, you never know, I might pop out of there a little early and work from home if nobody's signed up. So let me know when you're coming. I'm off on Tuesdays, except for sometimes I'll set up some meetings. Wednesdays, I have individual Zoom meetings available. Thursdays, I have individual Zoom meetings available in the morning, and Friday I'm there also. The other really important thing that you need to know about is your CASAS test. CASAS tests are only good for a certain amount of time. If your test is over 5 or 6 months old, they're not going to let me put units in for you. So it's important to take the test about every 4 months or so, 3 months, 4 months. If you've been doing a lot of work, you want to take the test more often because it's going to show the progress, and then you can move up. I've had a lot of students who have moved up a lot of levels lately because of doing their work. Helps them get better at their reading and better at their math, and their scores get better, and their test taking practice and their ability to take the test gets better. So that's really, really important. So those are the main things, because they're not going to let me put in units for you if your test is too old, or also if your score is not high enough to take certain classes. Okay, so that's pretty much it. This was supposed to be a short little video, but it's gone for almost 10 minutes, but that's not bad. A lot of times you have to sit in a class, listen to your teacher for an hour or two, talking. Anyways, I hope you all have had a really good weekend, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you and seeing you, and make sure that you keep your attendance up and that you're using that Remind app, and coming in and sending me emails and samples of work and getting as much done as you possibly can. Thank you very much, and Bye for now.